Hi there neighbors, it's Chef Mitch and I am about to send your taste buds into an amazing and irresistible dish. Tonight we are making a chicken bacon ranch pasta. You heard me correct, bacon. I know I don't cook with bacon very often, but in this recipe it's not so bad. And by the end of this, we're going to come in at about 650 calories. So it's a great dish. You can do it in under 30 minutes, I promise, unless you're doing all this prep work to get ready in advance. And today I have on a special friend that I have known for a number of years. She's an amazing person, and she's not a cook, so we're going to show her how to cook tonight. So come on, Jenny. Hello, Jenny.
Hey.
So yes, she speaks funny.
Just like him, but
just like me, but not as much anymore. So Jenny is a friend. She's from England. You just got back from England.
I did, yes. And
was it cold? How was it?
Cold and rainy, but beautiful.
Were you in London or north of England?
East Coast.
East Coast.
Yeah.
There is an East Coast in England.
There is.
On the way to France. So, but Jenny and I became friends at Fit and 42 originally.
42, that's right.
We were workout buddies, and we used to go and sweat to all the young people that were just like melting pounds off, and we were like, ugh, it's hard work. But so hello, Jason.
Hi.
Jenny's here. We're talking about you. Just kidding. But Jenny and I have been great friends. But you're not a cook. You don't like to cook, or you don't have time to cook.
Not really. I just can't be bothered to look after myself properly.
So when you cook, what do you make?
Things in the crock pot, just easy things.
Easy things.
I do a bit of baking occasionally.
All right.
I have a George Foreman grill, so I do maybe a little bit of chicken, sliced bit of chicken, but I eat quite a few salads with chicken, tuna, things like that.
Do you? Because I know you used to prep, just like I.
Yeah.
So do you prep still?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
So, when you're going to the gym and you have a trainer and they're beating you down like nobody's tomorrow, and they make you prep your food and keep track of your calories and your intake, and they make you feel guilty, right?
Yeah, I have good intentions, but yeah.
No, always good intentions. Of course, it's for our health.
Right.
But it's hard to keep up with sometimes.
It is, yeah.
So I've told all of you, I usually cook a bunch of chicken breasts out on the grill or the beginning of the week, and I use that as my base for a lot of things that I make, because it's easy, it's done, grilled chicken, simple, and a lot of flavors you can add, like lemon or orange or rosemary or any number of things. So, cook up those chicken breasts, maybe some pork chops, or whatever you like to eat. If you're cooking pork, I want to remind you, don't overcook it, because when you warm it back up, it's going to get really tough. So think about that when you're cooking some of the foods, even chicken. A lot of people think chicken has to be really cooked, but it really just has to come up to a base temperature, just like steak and other things. As long as you can still have a little bit of pink in chicken actually, and it's not bad. You can't have raw chicken, but you can have a little bit of pink in it and still keeps that juicy flavor. Yeah. So our recipe today, I'm going to have you at the stove. It's your favorite place to be.
Yay.
And I'm going to hand some ingredients to you as we do these, but I'm going to go over the ingredients with everybody. So I'm going to have you step back here.
All right.
Why don't we'll turn this on to about a 3 and get it warm. So before we started in this recipe, bacon is called for, like I said. And so we had to cook the bacon up before, because if you remember, we had a little smoke alarm go off a few weeks ago when we were doing a recipe. So we cooked the bacon up in advance. Now I will say to you, this recipe only calls for 4 pieces of bacon, but when you buy a packet of bacon, then it just sits in your fridge and you either maybe cook it or don't cook it. So I say when you open up a packet of bacon, cook it all, save the extra pieces in the fridge if you want to save them for something else. But, cook them. Cook them in your air fryer if you'd like to, or you can cook them in a pan. I like to cook bacon in an air fryer, because it reduces that fat that you're taking and you're only getting that nice bacon. So the recipe today calls for, this is a recipe for 4. So we're going to use 2 chicken breasts that are boneless and skinless. We're going to slice those or fillet those and cut them into smaller pieces. You can also use the whole breast if you prefer to cook the whole breast and lay it on top of the end product. But it's kind of nice to mix the chicken and the mushrooms and the bacon and everything else together. I would say this is similar to a carbonara, if you were making a carbonara. Very similar in ingredients. But the one ingredient that is store-bought, I suppose, would be the ranch spice that we're adding into it. And I've never bought ranch dressing, so I actually went today to look. And there's a couple of different brands. There's the Hidden Ranch Dip, which is different than the Hidden Ranch Seasoning, which is different than the Hidden Ranch Spicy Seasoning. So there's multiple different kinds. So you don't want the dip kind, you want the Hidden Ranch Spice Packet. So there are some differences in it. I read the back, there's a couple differences in them. But use the Spice Pack because you can keep using it for other things if you like. And who doesn't like ranch? So the recipe calls for 8 ounces of your favorite pasta. Now, I found this really cool pasta the other day. It's fusilli. I think you can see that, Joe, yeah? And it's orange and green and white, very fall flavored colors. If you're wondering how much pasta you're supposed to make, the rule of thumb is for dry pasta, 2 ounces per person. I don't think that's anywhere near enough. So this is 16 ounces, 2 cups, and I still don't think that's enough for 4 people. So I say make all the pasta you want. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to affect the end result, and it'll be more filling. So Jenny, I'm going to have you put this into the boiling water back there.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you put in probably another half of this bag with it. And then put a little bit of olive oil in it for me. And that's probably enough. Stir it around. And so put olive oil or salt. I don't like to use salt, so I put a little bit of olive oil in my pan with the pasta. It helps to add flavor, helps it to not stick. And if it starts to boil over, a little bit of salt will help reduce that, boil over what's the word I'm looking for? What comes off of pasta? The semolina, the starch that rises in the pan, all that white foam is starch. So if you throw a little bit of salt, if that happens, it'll cut it right down. We're going to use the 2 chicken breasts. We're going to use 4 strips of crispy bacon. Now I've got 8 night strips here, and Joe, I know, is over there just drooling for bacon. So I cooked it all up, but we're going to use 4 slices of the bacon. We're going to use a cup of chopped onions. We're going to use a couple tablespoons of minced garlic. We're going to use a cup of chicken broth. We're going to have a cup of heavy cream. Now, I know that heavy cream is not something we usually want to use, but you can use, you could use coconut milk, you could use non-fat milk, but you could use yogurt. In this particular case, because this is spread out among 4 people, a 1/4 cup of heavy cream overall isn't going to add a tremendous amount of calories. Like I said, this will be about 600 per person once you serve it out. So go ahead and use the heavy cream, or you can use half and half, which is just heavy cream and regular milk mixed together. We're going to use a 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella, and we're going to use a cup of Parmesan cheese and some parsley. I'm adding some mushrooms into this recipe. It doesn't call for mushrooms, but I like mushrooms. So we're going to add a little bit of mushrooms into it, salt and pepper, and at the end, we're going to put some parsley in. So we're going to get started. I'm going to hand Jenny the onions. You're going to start sauteing these. Put that over there. So there's some olive oil in this pan, about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And it's already warmed up, so put the onions in first, not the garlic, but that's okay.
Right.
So the reason you want to put your onions in first and not your garlic is because the garlic will start to burn too quickly. So we want to put the onions in, get them a little translucent, a little brown, add the garlic in after the fact, but that's okay. Just don't burn it.
No, already.
Okay. While she's doing that, we're going to cut up some of the other things that we need. So we'll start off with the mushrooms. I'm using portobello mushrooms. You can keep the stems or you can throw the stems away. It's up to you. A lot of people don't like the stems. It tastes just the same if you're using the stems. So we're going to go ahead and pull those stems out. Now, when I went to culinary school, they used to teach us how to peel the mushroom. It just seems like a lot of work to me. But you can take the end of a mushroom, the undercap, and you can pull the skin, and you can peel off the skin, which is, I suppose, a substitution for washing the mushroom, but it's just as easy to do it. So you can peel the skin right off and get a white mushroom. So, but we're just going to go ahead and wash these off a little bit. You don't want to wash your mushrooms too early when you're cooking something because they'll start to get that kind of funny, slimy feel to them. And so make sure you're doing your mushrooms fresh when you got them. And we're just going to cut these into slices, thick slices. So we don't want them to be too thin. I'm putting in 8 mushrooms. You can put in more, or like I said, you don't have to put any. You can really customize this dish to be anything you'd like. If you'd like to put peppers in, yellow peppers, red peppers. Just remember, you want to cook those peppers up with your onions if you're going to do that. How do those onions look?
Looking pretty good.
They do look pretty good.
I don't know about the boil. It's still boiling.
Oh.
Boiling there. Is it any higher?
We'll turn it up to the front.
Okay.
So my stove is kind of funny. It's got this, the very back burner, one of the very back burners is meant for low flame. I don't know why they did that, but it's got a low flame on it. So I always have to move it up to the front. So that'll start to boil in no time at all. So we've got the mushrooms. We're going to throw those in for you. Cook those up. Now see, Jenny, you could do this at home in just a couple minutes, 30 minutes.
Easy.
So we're going to cut these chicken breasts. They have been washed. They have been dried. I buy organic chicken breasts, which are a little bit more expensive. You don't have to do that. But at the end of the day, if you buy, you know, when you go into the store and you see those big breasts, they're huge and plump, they're just filled with water. So buy the organic kind because they're not filled with water, and they'll be you're going to end up with a better dish. But it's entirely up to you. So we're just going to cut this into bite-sized pieces because I like it all mixed together, kind of like a carbonara. And also, you don't have to fillet the breast if you don't want to and get it to cook faster. Use sharp knives. And you don't saw through things when you're cooking, when you're cutting them. You want to just go through once and you bring your blade along so that it cuts nice and evenly. Keep your fingers out of the way. Nobody's asking you to be a master chef and like cut like Gordon Ramsay, because I'm sure he's cut his fingers off a few times. They're probably prosthetic fingers at this point. But, you know, it looks great on television if you're able to do that. But it's not real practical in your day-to-day kitchen. Most of us don't have those skills. I certainly don't. Well, I do, but it makes me nervous, and I have cut a finger off. So I try to be super careful with knives. And so I'm probably a little bit more concerned with it than others. All right, Jenny, next thing. Those look good. All right, let's turn that up a little bit.
Okay.
Next thing in, chicken. Don't overcrowd your pan. Cook that up, Miss Jenny. All right. Don't use the same knife for cutting chicken that you're cutting anything else with, and that you're just going to wash the knife. I have an extra knife. So the next thing we're going to add in is our bacon. You want the bacon to be crispy. Joe, you want extra bacon? All right, we're going to put an extra piece in just for Joe. He's awfully quiet today. I usually get some words out of him or some comment or something, and I'm kind of disappointed.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry. Joe is hungry. So, you know, we don't film this live. We used to film it live, but we film it and then send it up. It's not edited as a general rule. It's just easier to do it not live because you deal with too many technical problems when it's live. So today's Wednesday, about 8 o'clock, so this will be up in the next couple hours on the web, and you'll be able to watch it. Do you need to turn that light up, Jenny?
Yeah, I have done.
All right. See, you are a cook.
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite English food?
Ooh. I like shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
We have something called black pudding, which some people like it, some people
It's
don't.
blood pudding, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in England, there's a dish called blood pudding or black pudding. Describe it.
It's basically pig's blood in a sausage.
Yes.
And you slice it and you fry it and you have it for breakfast.
It's all congealed and it's really gross. English people will eat anything. My favorite is toad in the hole.
Oh yeah. Yorkshire pudding. And
So toad in the hole, for those of you who don't know, it's actually just Yorkshire pudding. So you make the Yorkshire pudding batter and then you put in sausages and you let the Yorkshire pudding cook over the sausages. English sausages, not American sausages, because there is a difference.
Absolutely.
All right, how's that looking? All the way up? Let's turn it all the way up, yeah. We'll add this bacon in a minute. All right.
How's the pasta doing?
I don't know, you're the cook. How's the pasta doing?
Looks like
It's getting there. Oh, it's almost done.
I don't need to make it too soft.
All right, let me get a strainer out also. Honestly, I try to do all this in advance and you sometimes just forget things, just like when you're cooking in your own kitchen. All right, so we've got that. And she's still cooking away, so I'm going to cook up our parsley. So while Jenny was in England just recently, I'm not a big candy eater, but I do like English candy, which there is a difference. And no, Cadbury here is not the same as Cadbury in England at all. And the primary difference, and I found it interesting actually, Jenny, I did some research. So Nestle America, when they got the license to make Smarties and Crunchy Bars and all that here in America, the deal was they couldn't use the recipe the same as in England. So in England, English candy, European candy, is the first ingredient is heavy cream in all European chocolates. Here in America, the first ingredient is cocoa powder. And then milk, and so the creaminess is lost. There's also no preservatives in British candy or European candies as there are here. So candy in Europe and England are not meant to sit on the shelves like here in America where candy bars will sit. You know, they'll go from Albertsons down to the dollar store and still be being sold. So, you know, so if you haven't had English candy, Cadbury in the stores is not English candy. And interestingly enough, now it's against import rules to import English chocolate.
Is that
to
really?
America, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can bring it in yourself. So while Jenny was in England, I sent her a message. And I said, bring me back Smarties. And so she did. If you don't want to, and no, they're not M&Ms. All right? Hate it when people say that.
Oh, no, nothing like M&Ms.
Nothing like M&Ms. They actually have flavor, right? The orange ones taste like orange, and the red ones taste like red's supposed to taste.
And the snozberries taste like snozberries.
Taste like snozberries. I might let you taste one, Joe, but I'm very... This is like a year's supply because I get one a day. I'm I'm a good sharer, but I'm not a good sharer of English candy. So, how do we look over there?
We're ready for the bacon, Mitch.
You ready for the bacon?
Yeah.
All right, and the pasta's almost done. So, next in is the bacon. Extra piece for Joe. Now, since there's cheese in this recipe, that's going to be the last two things you add in. So the mozzarella and the Parmesan Reggiano, which is just a type of Parmesan cheese. You can use any Parmesan cheese. Don't use it out of a bottle, out of those shaker bottles. That's just old cheese. I don't know. It seems very artificial to me. So just get a little piece. You can buy it at Vons or Ralph's or your local market, and you can just, you know, quickly grate it up, and you will have a much greater flavor. So, Jenny, we're going to have you add chicken stock. About a half cup. And we're going to get that boiling. Turn it all the way up. I'm going to take that pasta off your hands.
I think it's about done.
Yep. Yum. Amazing. plenty for the 4 of us or 3 of us. Well, it's got to be 4 because, you know, Josh. His boyfriend will never come to my house to eat, and I always lecture him on my show about coming and eating, but he always gets a bowl of leftovers, which does not seem fair to me, but it's okay because I love him. All right, how's that doing?
Good. It's boiling away.
Boiling away? Is it boiling?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to add the cream in next.
So you can still add cream to.
You can. Well, it's not boiling quite. So the question was about the cream. You don't have to worry so much about cream as you do if you're using yogurt.
Okay.
So if you put yogurt into a hot sauce, you're going to get curdling. And so if you're going to use yogurt, you're going to put that in first and melt it up and bring it to a temperature. Otherwise, you end up with some, it's not bad, it hasn't gone bad, but it looks kind of gross. So don't put anything hot with yogurt. Put the yogurt in first and then the rest. The next thing we're going to add is our Parmesan cheese. This is going to be what starts to thicken everything up. There we go. Stir away. She's being all like delicate back here, like tapping it like that's.
Ladylike.
Stir it, girl. Mix those ingredients up. Goodness. All right. Take a little taste. The rule in the kitchen: don't serve food you haven't tasted. And wait for everyone to go, oh yeah, it's really good. And they leave half the plate because they're full. Joe has never left half the plate here in my house. All right, and then we're going to add the Parmesan cheese. The mozzarella. All right, stir that in. And the final flavoring is the ranch dressing. So the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. You can put as much as you want in. I'm going to start with 2 and we'll taste it. Is that blending well?
Yep.
All right, let's put that in. 2. So this is a super easy dish. I think we're probably, I don't know how far in are we? 20 minutes? Yeah, we're about 20 minutes in. So, there's 6 simple ingredients. You can throw it in your kitchen. You can actually get your kids in the kitchen too to make this because it's lots of easy, simple things. Just pay attention to your kids in the kitchen. Remember they're in the kitchen and things are hot. My nephew, when he was really young, it was funny, he was very precocious. He and I have the same birthdays. And so I suppose maybe I was precocious too. But he would watch my mom cooking in the kitchen and she would make him stand just outside the kitchen. And he was just young and he would sneak up when she wasn't looking.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, stop. So that's Alexa reminding me I'm almost going over my time. So we're going to hurry up here. And how's that doing?
Okay.
Is it thickening?
Yep.
Let's take a little taste.
Still a little one.
That's all right. Oh my God, it's so good. All right, Jenny, we're going to pull that over. And we're going to pour it in the pan. Off. I'm going to stir it up. There we go. Oh my God, that looks and smells so good. We're going to put some parsley on top and stir it in. And then I am going to have Jenny, you just do a little taste, and then we'll all sit down and enjoy it after. So it's a very colorful, nice finished product, finished dish. Jenny, get your unprofessional chef opinion.
Alrighty.
It's hot.
It's very pretty with a colourful pasta too.
Pasta.
Pasta, yeah.
Pasta. Joe's drooling over there.
Delicious.
Is it good?
Oh yeah.
There you go. And see, that wasn't so hard. Would you
Nope.
make that at home?
I would.
There you go. All right, well, we're running out of time. It's I want you to savor these flavors, enjoy the chicken, enjoy the recipe. Be sure and garnish it, kick back and enjoy it. But one more thing, remember to like us, follow us, and share this food vision with all of your friends. And we'll see you next week on Neighbors Cooking. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye.